Hello and welcome back. This is another pregame preview with Beerly Sports. I'm Zachary Smith. This is Trevor Scott. And today we're going to be talking about the biggest game of the year, the Super Bowl. So it is going on this Sunday between the Cincinnati Bengals, and the Los Angeles Rams. Pretty interesting matchup we have today, Trevor.
Oh, it's going to be an amazing matchup. Really, been looking at it all year, how the AFC has been all up for grabs, and then all the top-heavy talent in the NFC. And this is really one of the best matchups we could have got. One of the most entertaining, exciting matchups we could have gotten. And we're going to be blessed with a good one. And I can't wait for Sunday to get here. But yeah, let's dive into this.
Yeah, so a lot of people are talking about the matchup between the two quarterbacks. You obviously have the young gun Joe Burrow going against a very seasoned veteran who's been on some bad teams, Matthew Stafford. How do you feel that quarterback battle is going to play out?
I feel like obviously Burrow's got his struggles with that offensive line, and that pass rush is going to be after him. But, I mean, they've gotten this far. I mean, I think he knows he's going to have to get the ball out quick. He's going to have to make good, smart, quick decisions all game. But I think he's ready for that. He's a young guy, but we've seen him do it past couple weeks, although the stats weren't where they could be to have a huge game. But I think he's going to make his good reads, his right reads. I think Stafford will do the same. Quarterback's usually not a Super Bowl, I mean, it's not really like the quarterback's game. Like, you rarely ever see the
you rarely ever see a quarterback take over a game.
But I think we're going to get solid play out of both of them.
Yeah, I agree. I think Matthew Stafford's been waiting for an opportunity like this since he came into the NFL. You know, unfortunately, he spent most of his career with the Lions.
As a Georgia Bulldog, yeah. That sucks.
He spent most of his career with the Lions, so not really set up for success there. I mean, a lot of people say, oh, well, he had Megatron. Yeah, but a quarterback and a wide receiver does not a team make. So, I mean, him getting the opportunity here with the Rams, he's got a defense. He's got the weapons around him to be able to throw the ball all over the field. Pretty much a dream situation for him. Rams kind of went Super Bowl or bust this year, spending all the money, the picks, to be able to bring in Odell, bring in Von Miller, traded for Matthew Stafford. They went Super Bowl or bust this year. We're going to see how that pans out. And we're going to see if teams decide to do this in the future, because a lot of teams that have gone Super Bowl or bust have ended up coming up short. Because it's more about there's a lot of things you lose when you do that, including, for instance, you don't have that team camaraderie, bringing all those guys into one place.
Right.
You saw the same thing, if we're going to talk Beerly Hoops here for a second. Kind of saw the same thing year one in Miami with LeBron. They came up short.
All the talent in the world was there.
But they didn't have the communication and everything down, and that cost them big time against a team that had been together for a very long time in the Dallas Mavericks.
The teams they lost to, when they lost to the Mavericks, that was an excellent team, a fluid team. And then when they lost to the Spurs, that was the Spurs. That was a dynasty. That was one of the best teams ever.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see how all this plays out. You mentioned it earlier. Joe Burrow's got some issues with that offensive line that he's going to have to deal with. They did a very good job against it in the second half last week. Do you think that offensive line is going to be able to hold up and give him time to throw?
I don't think that's the most important thing I'm looking at in this game when it comes to the offensive line. They haven't been great the past couple weeks. Gave up, was it 7 or 9 sacks against Tennessee? 9. And then the sack numbers weren't as high against KC, but Burrow was running around. He was getting out of the pocket. He had to step up very quickly. But when I look at it and how it's going to be this game, they've done a good enough job run blocking so far in the playoffs. Joe Mixon has had 4 yards a carry in both of his last 2 games, 14 carries in Tennessee, and then 21 carries against KC. And if he can have north of 15 carries and average 4 yards a carry against the Rams, that's going to lighten the load when it comes time to when it comes time to pass protect.
Yeah.
And I think that's what Zach Taylor's been doing. It's been working. And it's what he's going to have to do in the Super Bowl if they want to have a chance to win. And I think if you listen to our podcast last week, I picked the Bengals to win.
Yeah.
So I think that's going to happen. I think the offensive line is going to run block well, as they've been blocking well. Mixon hovering around 4 yards a carry, maybe more. It's a Super Bowl, you never know. But I think that's definitely something that's doable. And the pass rush is going to be coming after Joe, but as long as they got keeping him humble with the run game, I think that's something that Joe's going to be able to do, just like he did the past 2 games.
Yeah, and one thing I think a lot of people are overlooking Joe Mixon as part of this Bengals playoff team, because he has been doing a very good job at not making sure that Joe Burrow isn't having to throw every single down. And that's very, very important for a young quarterback like Joe Burrow is, to have that load off taken by Joe Mixon and be able to pound the ball a little bit so that he's not dropping back behind an offensive line that has struggled pass blocking upwards of nearly 40 times a game. He's not having to do that, and that's helping him out a whole lot.
Right, yeah. And he's definitely going to be one of the key players on the Bengals overall, not just their offense.
Yeah.
But for them to win this game, he's going to have to. For me, I think he's going to need at least 65 yards. He's going to need at least 3.5 yards a carry. He's going to need to pass block. He's going to need to catch a couple checkdowns.
Yeah.
I hope he gets a good night's sleep before the game.
He's going to be busy out there.
He is.
Now, obviously, we've talked a little bit about the offenses. The defenses coming into this game are also hugely important. You mentioned before that the Bengals O-line has actually run blocked pretty well in this playoffs. How do you think they're going to fare against that defensive line of the Rams, who has been very, very hard to protect against, block? How do you think they're going to perform?
Right. I think a key when you're looking at that is their edge rushing, guys like Von Miller, who are going to be a lot more active on passing downs, passing plays than they are in the run. They don't need to overthink it, in my opinion. Yeah, it's the Super Bowl. You got to have your best game of the year. But go out there and run right at them. Obviously they're intimidating. Aaron Donald is Aaron Donald. He could win Defensive Player of the Year every year if T.J. Watt didn't exist. But
I still think he could. I think the difference between him and T.J. Watt is Watt plays on the outside and Aaron Donald plays on the inside. And so
you can't really do guys as well on the outside.
Yeah, it's hard to double team a guy on the outside. It's pretty easy to double team a guy on the inside. But yeah, Von Miller, if he has a big game, it's going to be a long day for Joe Burrow. If we start seeing flashes of
Broncos Miller,
it's going to be trouble. It's going to be trouble for the Bengals, because not only do they have to block Miller, like we said, they have to block Aaron Donald, who is an absolute beast at getting.
He's a game wrecker.
Yeah, game wrecker. If you're not double teaming him, he's getting through that line. He's just one of those guys that can turn it on and go to another level that I haven't seen anyone else do. So, especially not in the league nowadays. But
yeah, I think just if Zach Taylor's listening to this, man, go out there and run it at him. Do what you've been doing. Like, don't be scared that you think they can stop you. Make them stop you.
Yep. And I think another thing that's going to be pretty important for the Bengals game plan is not only running the ball, but also screen passes, especially if their pass rush is getting aggressive. Throwing off some check down screen passes to Joe Mixon, to wide receivers on the outside, because you know that the Rams coming into this game thinks that the matchup between their front seven and the offensive line for the Bengals is
going to win them the game.
Is going to win them the game. So what you want to do is you want to turn their aggressiveness into your own advantage and get some check down, some screens, get it out of there quickly. So now that those guys, instead of going straight after Joe Burrow, they're having to do a check and make sure, okay, are they running a screenplay? What's going on here?
They should hire us.
They should.
Really?
They should hire us. All right, so
really game planning.
Score predictions. All right, we've talked about the Bengals. We've talked about the Rams. We've talked about the matchups, all the important players. What is your score prediction for this game?
My official score prediction, as you know, I brought it up. I picked the Bengals. Another close one, another great game, which we've been blessed with. Looking like this whole playoffs, we've been blessed with great games, even back into the regular season. But I went with the Bengals. A lot really went into this. I didn't know if I wanted to make it exactly this close, but I ended up taking the Bengals 24-23 in one of the better Super Bowls we've seen lately. And I got a Super Bowl MVP, and I got a. This isn't as official as my score prediction, but if we go out, if the NFL season ends on an Evan McPherson game winner, I'm not. You guys are gonna. Oh, you guys are gonna. I'm not gonna shut up the whole off season. Like I've been talking about that guy for 30 weeks now, man. But yeah, what's yours? I got 24-23 Cincinnati. I'm locking that in.
So I think Evan McPherson, I think you're right. I think he is going to be a big part of this game. I think that he's going to go out there and make every kick that they ask him to make, just like he's done all season long, all playoffs long. He's done a fantastic job for this team. I think it's not going to come down to a field goal that he has to make. I think that I picked the Rams, obviously, if you listen to the podcast. I'm taking the Rams 31-24. I think that the Rams score a late touchdown, and then Bengals will have to go the length of the field and try and score, and they're going to come up just short.
So we both got the Bengals scoring 24. Okay. Well, either way, good games. I mean, and it's the Super Bowl. We're probably both going to be wrong. It's probably going to be 12-3 or something.
I mean, it's not Alabama LSU circa 2009.
Yeah.
So
that was a game, wasn't it?
It was a fun defensive game. Like, those guys are just flying all over the field. But all right, so to end the podcast, I have placed some bets.
Do you have an MVP? Super Bowl MVP?
Oh, Super Bowl MVP. I'm going to go with... Just so I can rub it in Kerry's face, I'm going to take Stafford.
Okay.
Just so if he does pull it off, Kerry is not going to be able to stop hearing it from me. I'm going to be talking about it into next season.
Yeah.
We got the Super Bowl MVP, Matthew Stafford. But
I was tempted to make it weird. I was tempted to really make it weird and pick a guy who's kind of appealing, Trey Hendrickson, but I feel like that's a little too out of the ballpark. Unless it happens, I'm going to feel like an idiot for not picking him. But it's weird how we both said Super Bowl is not a quarterback's game, but my MVP is going to be Burrow. So yours is Stafford, mine is Burrow. So
yeah,
we'll see.
Well, I mean, let's be honest. There have been quarterbacks in the past that won the Super Bowl MVP and did not deserve it.
Right.
Many times, actually. So the quarterbacks are more likely to get the MVP than any other position on the field. So that's why I'm picking a quarterback. Even though it's not necessarily a quarterback's game, they're the leader of the team. They're going to get more credit than anyone when they win.
If I took the Rams, which I almost did, this game a lot went into taking the score. But I think my Super Bowl MVP would have been OBJ if I would have taken the Rams. Really? Yeah. Okay. I feel like he might be primed for a big one. Okay. But yeah, let's go into those picks you were talking about.
So I have two bets down. The first one, I'm gonna get your take on them, and then the second one, I want you to tell me if I took the over or the under.
Okay.
Okay. So the first one is a five pick parlay, stats in the Super Bowl. The first one is Joe Burrow over 9.5 rushing yards.
Way over. Yeah. He's going to be running around. He's going to be stepping up in the pocket. He had 25 last week, and I think almost all those came in the second half against KC.
So that's what I took. Joe Burrow over rushing yards. You
might get that in one.
I might get that. Yeah, I might get that in the first half. Honestly. Next, I took Jamar Chase over receiving touchdowns at just a half a touchdown. One touchdown puts him over that. So I took Jamar Chase there. What do you think about that?
I feel like that's really just as 50-50 as I can get, but I like it. He's a big-time player. Joe seems like a big-time player. That seems like a big-time duo, and this is a big-time game.
I think he's going to score from like the 15-yard line or something. If
Mm-hmm.
I had to guess, it'd be like a 15-yard pass for a touchdown.
I can see it.
Next, I took Cam Akers under half a touchdown. I don't think he's going to score.
No rushing touchdowns for them then? Or you think
No
Michelle
rush.
gets in?
I think a rushing touchdown is more likely to be done by a QB sneak, Matthew Stafford. Or they're going to try and throw it when they're up tight to the goal line.
I think I would take that over.
You take the over there? Okay.
We'll see.
All right, next up, Van Jefferson, longest play, 17.5 yards.
I feel like if he gets more than 3 or more catches, one of those is going to beat that.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking as well. That's what, I mean, he's a deep threat. They like to throw it over the middle of the field, down the field to him. An 18-yard pass gets me clear. And I feel like he's
even like a 12-yard catch, like a 8-yard run.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I would hit that over.
And then my last one I took. Oh, I have to change my score prediction then. Officials changed the score prediction. I'm taking the Rams 31-27.
Oh, okay.
Because I took the over on Evie Mack, 1.5 field goals.
Okay, yeah, I like that.
Yeah. All right. Now, you got to tell me whether I took the over or under. Okay, I'm going to give you the statistic, I'm going to give you the line, and then you got to tell me whether I picked the over or the under.
See how well I know you.
See how well you know me and my betting habits. All right.
That's good.
Matthew Stafford, over under 270.5 yards.
Over.
Yep, that's correct. Took the over on that
1-for-1.
This is another 5-pick parlay. Joe Burrow, over under 265.5 passing yards.
Under.
I did take the under on Joe Burrow just because I think the run game's going to be more involved with the Bengals.
I feel like that could go either way, really.
Yeah,
that
it could.
That's a good line.
That is a really good line. Next, we have Cam Akers, over under 57.5 yards rushing.
Over.
I took the under.
Really?
Yeah, I think he hasn't played great this postseason, and I think I think the Bengals defense is playing very good. I think that they're gonna make LA throw the ball, and I think Matthew Stafford's up to the task, which is why I picked him to win. But I think that they're gonna shut down Cam Akers pretty effectively.
What was that line again? 57.5?
57.5, yeah.
I'll write that down.
Next up, we have T. Higgins, over under 65.5 receiving yards.
Under.
I took the over.
Really?
Yeah, I think that T. Higgins is going to see a lot more action with Ramsey on Jamar Chase, and I think he'll probably end up around 75 receiving yards in the game on about 5.
He had a great game last week.
Yeah.
Great second half last week.
And I think he'll end up about 5 receptions for about 75 yards. So I took the over on that.
So I'm 2-2 right now. This last one comes down to it.
Last one, Odell Beckham Jr., over under 60.5 receiving yards.
I feel like you don't like him, so you took under, but I'm going to say you took over.
I took the over.
Nice.
For the exact same reason I took T. Higgins on the over.
Nice.
If the Bengals aren't focusing on Kupp, they're not doing a good job. He should be double covered almost every play. That being said, that's going to open up the field for Odell and the other receivers on the Rams. And with Odell being as talented as he is and as good a receiver as he is, he's going to be able to get to 60.5, I believe.
I think so too.
But that is all we have for this episode of the pregame preview. Trevor, is there anything you want to add before we sign off?
This has been a great year. I can't wait to do these next year. We should
I know.
maybe like a primetime game a week or like every other
Or like
week
the Monday night game. We could do the Monday night game. Yeah, that'd be a lot of fun. I'm really enjoying this because we get to go in depth on one game for about 20 minutes. And if I hit these overs, man, or if I hit these bets, it's gonna be nice at the Smith household.
You will.
All right. Well, thank you guys for watching on YouTube. We are really excited about this upcoming year for Beer League Sports, and we will see you guys next time.
You're the beer.
Searching for greatness in a sea of the dying and shameless, a sea of the aimless. I don't wanna be one of the nameless. I'ma wake up with the mindset that one day I'm gonna make